Greys should embrace the police, okay? All in on the police, said Srinavasan. What does that mean? That's, as I said, banquets. That means every policeman's son, daughter, wife, cousin, sibling. There's no girl police, no gay police. Homosexuals will not be in the police. If you're a cop, you'll probably be married with 2 kids. Married to a girl, vaginas only. All your people, should get a job at a tech company in security. Just working for the company store. Working for the company store. In exchange for extra food and jobs. The New Republic wrote a story, okay? It's called The Tech Baron Seeking to Ethnically Cleanse San Francisco. I watched a little bit of this. I watched a little tiny, teeny bit of it. And by watched, I mean read, which is the boomer version of checking out a YouTube video. The Tech Baron Seeking to Ethnically Cleanse San Francisco, The Dystopians by Gil Duran, from Duran Duran. If Balaji... Bro, you fucking with me. If Balaji Srinavasan is any guide, then the Silicon Valley plutocrats are definitely not okay. Dude, can the Indian subcontinent stop exporting their evil internet motherfuckers to us? You guys sent us over the one that tried to destroy the FCC like 6 years ago. You remember that goofy fucking big-eared dork who was like stoked? He's like, this is going to be the end of net neutrality. And he caused a bunch of fucking issues. What is with you guys? Is this vengeance? Send them to fucking England, all right? You sent Rishi Sunak or whatever the fuck is in the right direction. We didn't do it, okay? It's Native Americans. We fucked up the Native Americans. That's the version of Indian who have the fucking blood vendetta against us that's justified. Start sending, you motherfuckers, start sending your rich, evil, cocksucking piece of shits to fucking England. Stop sending them to America. I'm sick of seeing them. We have our own gigantic plethora of evil dipshits to choose from. You fucks need to stop sending them to us, okay? I'm done with it. I'm sick of it. Send them to fucking England and have them destroy London through racial violence or whatever the fuck it is you people get up to. Stop sending them to America. God damn. You're like, you can't say that. They're like, dude, they're fucking richer than me. I don't know what to say. It's a whole subcontinent full of capitalist asshole pieces of shit that do classism better than anyone else ever has. And they're hyper rich. And then they come over here and try to like steal valor from black people and be like, wow, they really treat us non-whites like crazy bad. Like, you're a fucking doctor. Your parents are millionaires from a place where you treat your own people like shit. Don't come over here and try to get yourself involved in stuff. What in the fuck are you talking about? That was one of the craziest moments. I know like people treat fucking like, non-white motherfuckers like dog shit everywhere. But that was still one of my like crazy moments. When I was in college, this girl was part of this like panel, right? And it was a racial injustice thing that was like at the Times. I think it was attached to like Occupy. And there was a bunch of people that had like every right to be up on their stage talking about like racial injustice because they were black people from Cincinnati, Ohio, this was when we had the most recent race riots in America was then. And it was crazy as fuck in Cincinnati, like in the early 2000s. And so like they're all talking about this shit. And then she's just like, I went through a lot of stuff too. And it's like, and they were like, what? She's like, some people were mean to me. I know I came over here and she's like a doctor's kid and shit and like came to America and speaks perfect English. Like you have multiple, do you not understand the gravity of what people are going through and you're just jumping in on this conversation? Like, dude, I have more of a right to sit up there with them and I'm not going to do it because that's fucking psychotic. Dude, you take a fucking breath, kid. Your parents paid for you to be here and they live in a fucking high-rise in Mumbai? What are you talking about? Calm down. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Oh, like Lord. It's like I know it's like I know, you know, fucking the race conversation is like one of the most difficult ones to have or something, and it's just me stumbling my way through it at all fucking times. But like even me, you know, there's a lot of people that have like there should be a line for this thing. There should be a line for it, and because there's a lot of people with a lot of shit to say. Black ladies and the black LGBT community and every fucking Native American is the front of the line. And Native Americans include all of the fucking dispossessed Native people of Latino descent. All of them go to the front of the line when they have a complaint, with all due respect. And then like Asian people are up there as well because they got treated like shit. And then you get a little bit more curious about it, because the people whose land we fucking stole, and then the people we enslaved to work the land, with all due respect, they just have the first say. And then the other people we enslaved but talked less about it, the third, almost equivalent one. But then just like people just come out of fucking nowhere and like, hey, what about this stuff that you did to me? It's like, well, I know, but like they're having a dude, it's like literally one of my uncle's brothers in-laws did that shit. He's closer. Like it's a family thing. Okay. You were born in a different country and had everything there. And then you came here and complained about what we're doing. And we're all poorer than you. Like, what in the fuck what do you mean? Why are you in this conversation right now? God damn it. Oh, Lord. Insane. It's just a very bizarre thing that's been going on. It's crazy. But then, like, the ability of the Indian subcontinent to export, like, evil hyper-capitalists is crazy. Like, you're mad good at it. I don't know what you guys are doing over there. If you have just, like, a generation system for, like, pieces of shit that somehow managed to, like, be more competently asshole-ish, but also fly under the radar better than Elon. Isn't it still crazy that Elon's not an American? He's, like, South African. I know that's a surprise to nobody, but it feels like we should have made him. But, like, it's not one of our, like, have you ever seen, like, a foreign car and you're like, is that a Mustang? But then it's not. You're like, that's a fucking Mazda? What in the shit? What's going on here? Like, that's the vibe. You always, like, he feels like he's native to this, but it's just like we exported evil that's just, like, growing roots in other countries now. It's, like, it feels very irresponsible. There's no real difference between Elon and, like, any other rich person from, like, South Carolina. You know? Like, yeah, my family grew up on we have a very large family house outside of Charleston. Like, okay, well, who built that and when? And if you say the mid-1800s, you need not say anything more about where your family got their money. You know? He's just one of those. But now we have them everywhere. Like, you see people come in and be like, fucking blah, 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 blah. This, that, and the other. Like, yo, what do you think? Oh, yeah, my parents are fucking, like, multi-billionaire tech geniuses from wherever we're from. We treat people that are like filth. They're garbage. We would literally step on them. But like, hey, we're really concerned about the racism here. Like, that's what your biggest concern is, capitalist? Fucking Christ. I want to have nothing between me and strangling the life from the working class. Fucking goddamn. It's just insanity. Insanity. Either way, there's this guy. So we're gonna, Tyler, that was a completely unacceptable and disgraceful start. Why would you say that about somebody? Well, let's fucking read ahead. To fully grasp the current situation in San Francisco, where venture capitalists are trying to take control of City Hall, you must listen to Balaji Srinavasan. Before you do, steel yourself for what's to come. A normal person could easily mistake his rambling train wrecks of thought for a crackpot's ravings, but influential Silicon Valley billionaires regard him as a genius. Balaji has the highest rate of output per minute of good new ideas of anyone I've ever met, wrote Mark Andreessen, co-founder of the VC firm Andreessen Horowitz, in a blurb for Balaji's 2022 book, The Network State, How to Start a New Country. Shout out the Dutch as well for never shutting the fuck up. The book outlines a plan for tech plutocrats to exit democracy and establish new sovereign territories. I mentioned Balaji's ideas in two previous stories about network state-related efforts in California, a proposed tech colony called California Forever, and the tech-funded campaign to capture San Francisco's government. Balaji, a 43-year-old Long Island native who goes by his first name. Only rich people could get that fucking appended after their name. That is insanity. Balaji, who goes by his first name, like many of us do, has a solid Valley pedigree. Multiple degrees from Stanford University, founded startups, became a partner at this place, and then served as CTO at Coinbase. He's a fucking Bitcoin guy. He's also the leader of a cultish and increasingly strident neo-reactionary tech political movement that sees American democracy as an enemy. In 2013, a New York Times story headlined, Silicon Valley roused by secession call, described a speech in which he told a group of young entrepreneurs that the United States had become the Microsoft of nations, outdated and obsolescent. This guy probably needs to get cracked, unironically. The speech won roars from the audience at Y Combinator, a leading startup incubator, wrote the Times. Balaji paints a bleak picture of a dystopian future in a U.S. in chaos and decline, but his prophecies sometimes fall short. Last year, he lost $1 million in a public bet after wrongly predicting a massive surge in the price of Bitcoin. Still, his appetite for autocracy is bottomless. Last October, Balaji hosted the first ever network state conference. Gary Tan, the current Y Combinator CEO, who's attempting to spearhead a political takeover of San Francisco, participated in an interview with Balaji and cast the effort as part of the network state movement. Tan, who made headlines in January after tweeting, "Die slow, motherfuckers," at local progressive politicians, frames his campaign as an experiment in moderate politics. But in a podcast interview 1 month after the conference, Balaji laid out a more disturbing and extreme vision. This reminds me of the same thing. Who is that guy? I can't even remember his name anymore. Who was in the Republican primary? He was an Indian dude too, and also like a massively rich fucking fail son type. And he was trying to talk. He's like, just like Barack Obama, I'm just a young brown kid trying to get ahead. Yeah. You just worked your way up through the Chicago political system, man. You and him just hand in hand. I too know what it's like to play basketball on the block with my homies. I was in South Philadelphia born and raised, but on a playground I spent most of my days. Fucking people are out of their minds, bro. Like the leading export in evil fucking millionaires. I swear to God. To participate in an interview with Balaji and cast the effort as part of the network state movement. Tan, who made headlines in January after tweeting, "Die slow, motherfuckers," frames his campaign as an experiment in moderate politics. But in a podcast interview 1 month before the conference, Balaji laid out a more disturbing and extreme vision. What I'm really calling for is something like tech Zionism. This shit has to be made up, man. After comparing his movement to those started by the biblical Abraham, Jesus Christ, Joseph Smith, founder of Mormonism, Theodore Herzl, spiritual father of the state of Israel, and Lee Kuan Yew, former authoritarian ruler of Singapore, Balaji then revealed his shocking ideas for a tech-governed city where citizens loyal to tech companies would form a new political tribe clad in gray t-shirts. And if you see another gray on the street, you do the nod. He invented a new colorism. Is that not crazy? That's wild, bro. I thought that's our thing. I've never understood the Native American plight because I've never had my entire culture stolen from me. But this motherfucker just jacked racism from white people and fucking remixed it into new shit. That's supposed to be ours. And he took it, and he's doing it crazy. He went crazy with it. A political clad in gray t-shirts. He speed ran new fascism. He's on like fucking Hitler particle or whatever the fuck. It's fucking Balaji particles are the new fucking norm, man. He said during a 4-hour talk on the Moment of Zen podcast, "You're a fellow gray." The Grays shirts would feature Bitcoin or Elon or other kinds of logos. Y Combinator is a good one for the city of San Francisco in particular. What I'm thinking is, All right. It's an intersection. All right. What it is, it's an intersection of good ideas. What we have is the economics and the political know-how. An intersection symbolized by a cross. But also on top of this, our ability to deviate from the pre-planned ideas that people have from us. A cross with little deviations on the end. It would go kind of like this in a shape, and that cross would represent our ability to merge old ideas with the new. Goddamn, Greys would also receive special ID cards providing access to exclusive Grey-controlled sectors of the city. He speed ran ghettos. He's already got ghettos, because if there's a good part of the city you can go to, that means there's a bad part of the city you get stuck in. He's got ghettos. He said ghettos now, ghettos for the future, ghettos forever. He said we're going to have untouchables. We're going to have untouchables. We're bringing them back, folks. Everybody knows there's some people, we don't know who they are, but they're unclean. They must not walk amongst the normal people. And we do have some people, they're much better than other people. They're more powerful, they're better. They're going to get all of the access they need to make what San Francisco, I guess, great again. Make San Francisco great again. Make it gray again. The fact that it's gray is crazy, by the way. In addition, Greys would make an alliance with the police department, funding weekly policemen's banquets to win them over. We would also have meetings. Great meetings, good meetings. We'd have meetings together wearing our gray thing. We would wear gray coats, gray gowns even to the meetings. They would be very good around fires. So everyone could see us. Maybe we would wear a taller hat, a longer hat, a pointed hat so that people could see where we are. And if there was people, if we found them out in the streets and we didn't like them, they came into our area, they know the rules. We would hang them, maybe. We would just get together. We would put them up in a tree as a message to other non-Greys that they can't be here. Fucking. Hey, I'm not even exaggerating. That's just what happens. That's just what happens. Greys should embrace the police, okay? All in on the police, said Srinavasan. What does that mean? That's, as I said, banquets. That means every policeman's son, daughter, wife, cousin, sibling. There's no girl police, no gay police. Homosexuals will not be in the police. If you're a cop, you'll probably be married with 2 kids. Married to a girl, vaginas only. What? All your people, should get a job at a tech company in security. Just working for the company store. Working for the company store. In exchange for extra food and jobs. What we do need, so it's the land of plenty. That's what they say. They say it's a land of plenty. Plenty going to waste. What we need austerity. We need people eating less. There is going to be food rationing for non-Greys. He said, what would white supremacy be if I added my brown ass to it? And he said, it would be fucking gray. What is it when you have like a white supremacist, but it's not all white, there's some brown people in it? We could call it, I don't know, is it gray? Is it brown supremacy? It's just like, what joke am I supposed to make? What am I saying at any point in this that's remotely as bad as what he's just articulating at paid speaking conferences? Fucking give a shit. Fuck this motherfucker. Holy fuck. In exchange for food and jobs, cops would pledge loyalty to the Greys. Bend the knee, Srinavasan recommends asking officers a series of questions to ascertain their political leanings. For example, did you want to take the sign off of Elon's building? This refers to the August 2023 incident in which Elon Musk illegally installed a large flashing X logo atop Twitter headquarters in violation of building safety codes. City inspectors forced him to remove it. This was the second time Musk had run afoul of the city in his desire to refurbish his headquarters. In July, police briefly halted his attempt to pry the Twitter signage from the building's exterior, but in Balaji's dystopia, he implies that officers loyal to the Greys would let Musk do as he pleases. Democratically inclined officers, he suggests, can be paid to retire. If you guys don't remember, the reason that it got stopped was because he didn't apply for any of the permits. He just tried to have something done. And everybody underneath the sign was in extreme danger because there was no protection over the sidewalk, and they were just literally ripping the sign off the side of the building with no support. It was just 10,000 pounds of fucking metal and glass and steel and electric just dangling over an unprotected city street. Elon Musk is just fucking stupid. Like, he's just a fucking moron. But he's racist and a bigot and a fascist. Like, so they just like him because he's just like, no, anybody should be able to do anything that they want if they're rich. So I'm rich, and sometimes I make other people rich. And so I don't understand that if I get to do anything that I do, then maybe everyone will be rich at some point. Like, that's it. That's just, I want as few fucking, few blocks between me and doing the most insane, unholy dog shit you've ever heard of in your life. Just, like, literally. I just want, there's a reason. He's a guy, somehow, Elon is the path forward, but the first time I was ever fucking seen advertisements for fucking lolly shit on X is well into his reign after I've cleaned it up. There's no more child pornography on X. It's just everywhere. X is like literally as bad as it can get, and everyone that uses it, almost all the people that fucking use the goddamn program hate him or have no respect for him or have a clownish devotion to an idea of him that he doesn't even like. It's just a miserable shithole. That's what just trying to go downtown would be like if these fucking animals take over, dude. Simply put, there is a ton of fascist chic cosplay involved. That's not even cosplay, it's just fascism. It's just it's beyond, it's just fascism. It's just fascism. Once an officer joins the Greys, they get a special uniform designed by their tech overlords. The Greys will also donate heavily to police charities and merge the Grey and police social networks. Then in a show of force, they'll march them through the city together. This is what you call, by the way, if you don't know, this is called the Day of the Rope. It's what he's talking about. It's awesome. That's awesome. It's good to know that fucking just like non-white people could still, through sheer exposure to capitalism, still arrive at the Turner Diaries as a solution to modern democracy. Because this is the same thing. It's just, you take control of the martial forces of the country, and then you go through expunging the non-compliance. Fucking Jesus Christ. A huge win would be a Grey Pride Parade with 50,000 Greys, said Srinavasan. That would start to say, whose streets? Our streets. You have the AI flying spaghetti monster. You have the Bitcoin parade. You have the drones flying overhead in formation. You have bubbling genetic experiments on beakers. I guess maybe fake. You have the police at the Grey Pride Parade. They're flying the Anduril drones. I think this is supposed to insinuate, obviously, the opposite of a rainbow would be basically like the color gray, as opposed to representing all of the reflective light spectrum, a color that is not particularly illuminating while also being absorbent, like gray. And so, like, the insinuation here is an antithetical to the gay pride parades, which is like San Francisco. So I guess we're getting into, if that's not, it's not outspoken, but it's one of those things that if you look back, if these guys took power, you would look back on history and be like, oh, so when they started executing like homosexuals and like people that like shelled out for trans rights and shit. Like this was kind of an indicator. Like yeah, it was. I mean, if you want this in your life, you could also just like literally buy a fucking. It's America. You could just buy a pistol and eat a bullet out of it. Like you just start a shotgun and arrive at the same like good conclusion for yourself. Everyone would be welcome at the Gray Pride March. This is awesome. I love not even saying just saying the loud part out loud. Everyone would be welcome at the Gray Pride March. Everyone, that is, except the Blues. Srinavasan defines the blue political tribe as the liberal voters he implies are responsible for the city's problems. Blues will be banned from the gray controlled zones, said Balaji, unlike Republicans, Reds. So, the Indian dude fucking recreated a caste system. I don't even give a fuck if he's from fucking Long Island. Eat his shit. I don't give a fuck. God damn. I'll tell you what, I don't give any fucking system that prevents me from making fun of your dumbass for doing that shit should be fucking yeet it out. It's worthless. I piss on it. Tyler, you're not allowed to make that joke. I piss on you. I'm making it anyway. Let the fire come. If there was a fucking white guy that came out here and started talking about, look, so what we're going to do is there's some people, and I just don't think that they're quite, what we'll do is we'll take them from countries that don't speak the same language as us. We could call it something. We'll put them on boats. We could pack them in there. We'll put chains on them, and then you can like brand them, and we'll have them work, and it'll boost the economy. They're from shitholes anyway. They're maybe not even real. And I'll live on a big house, and they'll plan all this stuff, and I'll get jobs for local people that can walk around on horses and make sure they work. If I came out with that fucking idea, would anybody be like, don't know if you should phrase it like that? Fuck, eat shit. I don't give a fuck. If we're gonna throw the fucking book out, let's burn it together in a spirit of fascism, you fucking psychos. This shit is literally insane. Yes, it's the Civil War too. The literal Grays versus the Blues. Where the fucking Confederates win. Oh my god. Like at what point is the respectability politics of it? What point is there in just being nice about this? This is the most absurd shit in the fucking world. This guy should be treated like shit by everybody. There's no point in even engaging with the ideas. We already have. The last two times we did it, we fucking killed all of the people that tried to do it. We didn't kill all of them. We killed a fuckload of them, and we should have fucking killed more. We should have fucking, from the river to the sea, the American South, and the river is the Mississippi, and the sea is the Atlantic, and then also the Pacific. Fucking Jesus Christ. God damn, we let too many people surrender in fucking Germany, unironically. We should have, Operation Paperclip, the paperclip that was attached should have been wherever we were throwing them into fucking volcanoes. God damn. I don't fucking care. Like, I refuse to humanize people that are articulating a second coming of the South or fucking Nazism. I just don't give a shit. There's a point where it's like politics, it's polite, like, okay, we gotta fucking meet people halfway. But when you're literally trying to articulate a fucking class system, a caste system in the fucking US of A, and talking about fucking, extra legal takeovers of the country and fucking ghettoization of areas and fucking like state sponsored fucking dehumanization of people and a departure from democracy, liberal politeness and decency goes out the window. All I can think in my mind is like the beginning of whatever rhythm fucking Sherman was singing to himself when he was like, I'm gonna tie all these fucking railroad ties around these goddamn trees because fuck these people. Man, I bet Savannah would look sick as fuck if it was just ash. I'm gonna go fucking burn Silicon Valley to the fucking ground, all the way to the ocean. I feel like it's already half on fire anyway. Sherman's from fucking like Loveland, Ohio. He was born only 2 hours fucking like east of me. We're river people, okay? We know. I got the same blood in me that he probably has in him. Every time I see that little face where he's like this, I'm gonna go fucking burn my way to a fucking body of water. A surge of pride fucking rises in me. And also I can just start smelling like it's like an ancestral memory, sulfur and like burning wood and paint. It's like every time I hear it's unironically, I hear just fucking Union fucking war songs. I start thinking about fucking Gettysburg and how cool it would have been to stab fucking Confederates to death with a goddamn bayonet. War brothers, well, hey, fucking, I guess I'm an only child now, aren't I? You want to fucking turn America into Nazi Germany? How about I turn you into a soup? Motherfucker, dude. Like, unironically, like, this guy should not be treated with kindness or deference. He should be afraid to say, people should be afraid to say shit like this. There are certain ideas that are beyond conversation. You know what I mean? Like, you should be terrified to articulate that you want to, like, harm children sexually. You should be terrified of that. It should be a fear that dominates your life and makes you feel like less of a human until you can finally get away from it. The same for, I think that we should suspend democracy in order to create a caste system in America. You should be terrified to say that. You should live in fear. With that, I debate me on it. I want to have that conversation with literally anyone. You should be terrified to come out of your fucking house. Because like that just like, when people are like, that's not what my grandpa fought for in World War II. I'm like, well, dude, like, we got another one right here. I feel like you should fucking like clip Hitler's before they bud. You know what I'm saying? And this guy saying like, yeah, I'm just gonna fucking articulate, dude. What in the fuck? This is unironically worse than like Tom Cotton. We got Hassan's too fucking stupid to read. Hassan will be like, oh, Tom Cotton upset about fucking Gaza protesters. Here a little bit of terrorism. This dude's talking about fucking taking over San Francisco, ghettoizing the populace, and turning every probably, literally, he's already going to go into the data banks, turning every literal fucking liberal voter into an actual third-class citizen underneath fucking conservative voters and then the technocrat overlords of the Greys. Like, what in the fuck? What in the fuck, dude? Humiliated and terrified is all I want a person like this to feel until they fucking die. Like, or recant this stupid shit. This is treasonous, first off. Just in a general sense, this is anti-American. Un-American is fine, because not everybody can fucking be as based as, like, me. You know what I mean? But it is anti-American in a way that makes the fucking, like, American, like, that bald eagle that's actually a red-tailed hawk screech in the back of my head. Like, I just want to fucking drive an A-10 Warthog at whatever the fuck this guy builds up as an army just so I can turn into soup, unsuitable human beings who should never have been permitted to have been born on this earth in the first place. And just like, dude, when your mother cries for you, does she make a sound like a human does if you fucking support shit like this? I want to know. Because I don't think Nazis screamed like people. I bet they didn't, and I would like to find out. I fucking despise him. I hate that shit so bad. What, are we not allowed to come out against Nazism anymore? Somebody said, like, oh, they had a comment once. Actually, fucking Hitler was based. Say it in a dark alley to me. Say it where there's no cameras. And I can maybe, and I can figure out a way to fucking put you where the pigs can get you. I fucking hate it, dude. I served this country. It's unironic. I served this fucking country, and I know people have their fucking problems with the American military, but I think one of the most important things it's ever done is fucking put so many goddamn Germans 6 feet under. It's one of the few forgivable things about Russia is just how many fucking Nazis they killed. You could talk a lot of shit. You could talk a lot of shit about Russia. You know, they're undemocratic. Putin's an asshole. They shouldn't be fucking with Ukraine. True. And they do deserve to get their fucking asses kicked for that. But I will never take away all them fucking Nazis they killed at Stalingrad. I can't. That shit's fucking awesome to me. What did you guys do? We held to the line, and then we just shot Nazis until we got to Berlin. That's fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Cool. Awesome. That's dope. I respect the shit out of that. Yeah, that's fine. You want me? Can I buy you a vodka or whatever the fuck it is you goofballs drink? I like that shit. Motherfucker. God damn. People are like, why were you threatened? Like, the dude said he wants to do Nazi shit. What the fuck? Everybody would be welcome at the Gray Pride March, except for the Blues. Reds would be welcome there, and people should wear their tribal colors, said Srinavasan, who compared his color-coded apartheid system to the Bloods and Crips gang rivalry. No Blues should be welcomed there. It's stolen valor, man. They can't help it. While the Blues would be excluded, they would not be forgotten. He imagines public screenings of anti-blue propaganda films. In addition, you thought it was... Did you guys think it was over? I'm sorry, did you guys think it was over? He said, we're going to do fucking Triumph of the Will, by the way. In addition to celebrating gray and celebrating red, you should have movies shown about blue abuses. There should be lots of stories about what blues are doing that is bad. My man is like not lost on the fact blues rhymes with Jews, all right? Let's get Triumph of the Will in here. We need to show the fucking Untermensch over here. Balaji goes on and on. The Greys will rename city streets after tech figures and erect public monuments to memorialize the alleged horrors of progressive democratic governance. Corporate logos and signs will fill the skyline to signify gray dominance of the city. Ethnically cleanse, he said at one point, summing up his idea for a city purged of blues. This, he says, will prevent blues from ethnically cleansing grays first. Oh, I'm sorry. Was I doing a step too far? It's only because I said it first in your mind. The idea, he said, is to do to San Francisco what Musk did to Twitter. Elon, in sort of classic gray fashion, captures Twitter and then, at one stroke, wipes out millions of blues status by wiping out the blue checks, he said. Another stroke, he renames Twitter as X, showing that he has true control and it's his vehicle and that the old regime isn't going to be restored. Describing Twitter takeover as almost equivalent to fucking the Night of Broken Glass is crazy. Is fucking crazy. Because this is the same thing they said about the fucking Jewish, the Jewish people in Nazi Germany. What did the Jews have too much fucking Nazi or too much fucking German gold. They've stolen from the German people and we need to return their wealth to Germany. So we're going to go fucking break all their shit and steal it. It's the same thing. That's how he's articulating it here. What we did is we annihilated this menace, this internal disease, and then we reclaimed Germany for our own. This is the same fucking shit being articulated. Those who try to downplay Balaji's importance in Silicon Valley often portray him as a clown, but Donald Trump taught us that clowns can... I fucking said this. I didn't read this earlier. Especially those with proximity, influence, and power. In the nearly 11 years since his secession speech at Y Combinator, Balaji's politics have become even more stridently authoritarian and extremist, yet he remains a celebrated figure in key circles. He has 1 million followers on X Twitter, where Musk regularly boosts him. Tim Ferriss and Lex Friedman, two influential podcasters, have interviewed him. Balaji is a friend of mine, and neither is neither a dumb shit nor a clown, tweeted economics blogger Noah Smith last June, defending Balaji from critics. Alex Lee Remain, co-founder of the Morning Brew newsletter, recently listed Balaji as the top of what appears to be his ranked wish list of guests for an upcoming How to Start a Startup podcast. Musk and Meta's Mark Zuckerberg ranked 6th and 14th, respectively. Last week, he headlined Token 2049, a sold-out conference in Dubai that bills itself as the premier crypto event. Even more disturbing, however, is Balaji's tight connection with Tan, the Y Combinator CEO who has publicly aligned himself with the network state for years. I legitimately believe Y Combinator is a prototype model for what Balaji's talks about when he says the network state, wrote Tan in August 2022, shortly before he was named CEO. Over the past 2 years, as Musk has transformed Twitter into a right-wing information weapon, Tan has used the platform, along with his bully pulpit at Y Combinator, to wage all-out war for political control of San Francisco. This fits with Balaji's recommendation that, as an alternative to forming new cities, tech zillionaires can use elections to seize existing governments. Increasingly, Tan has also pursued another key network state goal, attacking journalists. Balaji portrays the press, especially the New York Times, as the chief enemy of the network state ideology. He accuses the venerable paper of upholding something called woke capital. Do I have to explain what that means to you? Would it be a hard jump for me to say that woke capital might be something we've heard before? What could that be? The blues What you gotta understand is there's a lot of blues here. There's blues everywhere. There's blues at the highest level of government. We gotta make sure that blue control of the money ends. This blood libel, they drink the blood of our children, these blues. Fucking Christ. If I wrote this, it would be fucking libel in any other fucking respect. It's capitalism that enables decentralized censorship, cancel culture, and American empire. Decentralized censorship is not censorship. That's freedom of speech, is what that is. Times publisher A.G. Sulzberger, who Balaji characterizes as a rich white male nepotist. It's fucking always awesome when a non-white has to try to fucking call somebody a Jew in a way that doesn't sound racist. That's fucking awesome. You guys are figuring it out. Oh my god. Yeah, rich white male nepotist says the guy that fucking wants to give he wants to throw banquets for cops and make sure all their kids can get a job at the company. Salzberger, he's a real blue. Clearly blue. Comparing Salzberger to the mysterious criminal mastermind in 1995's The Usual Suspects. What if his employees are What if he's more like Kaiser Soze? What if his employees are highly self-interested professional prevaricators? What if they've always been like that? So long as you aren't running a corporation based on hereditary nepotism, where the current guy running the show inherits the company from his father's 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 father, you're more diverse and democratic than the owners of the New York Times company. You don't need to take lectures from them, from anyone in their employee, or really from anyone in their social circle, which includes all establishment journalists. Dude, blue balling. Any fucking neo-Nazi is fucking blue balling right now. Just like literally let me fucking bust. Just say JQ. Just fucking say. Fucking say it! Right there. Yeah. Nepotist and fucking echoes. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Gotta work around it. Let's see. The solution, he says, is to create rival media outlets, parallel forms of journalism controlled by tech plutocrats. Both he and Tan point to Musk's transformation of Twitter as a perfect example of parallel media, a propaganda machine that smears real journalism as fake while aggressively promoting disinformation. Propaganda. You can't let the blues control the media. These blues have for too long held the reins in America. They are everywhere. They are controlling the world. Over the past year, Tan has ramped up his attacks on reporters at the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Standard, and Mission Local. If you want to understand why we got here, you have to understand three things, Tan wrote in anti-media Twitter screed last year. 1, the local political machine and the local media, Chronicle, Mission Local, are complicit in keeping it this way, supporting the worst, most corrupt candidates and repeating their propaganda. Nobody likes this article, he tweeted at the Standard, owned by billionaire Michael Moritz, after the site published a feature about a progressive leader last year. Fix your headline, he commanded in a tweet after it published a story about a cruise robotaxi hitting a pedestrian in October. Mission Local besmirches the city with unbalanced coverage that only emboldens Preston Peskin Chan. He wrote in November, name-checking 3 of the elected officials upon whom he would later wish a slow death. All he needed now is slip and spell blue with an EU instead of a UE. And Reezy's probably got to fucking talk through most of his conversations. Amid his drunken tweet scandal, Tan paused such attacks. He hired a public relations consultant, apologized, and ceased sending out caustic tweets, temporarily. Then on March 29th, the Times published a favorable profile of him, written by former Chronicle columnist Heather Knight. It characterized him as a middle-of-the-road Democrat agitating for common-sense ideas. Tan came across as contrite and humble, a civic-minded centimillionaire who let his passion for political change get the best of him. Mr. Tan has tried to learn from his online mess, or says he has, wrote Knight. In person, he speaks kindly and calmly and smiles often, frequently bowing to people while making a prayer gesture with his hands. Progressives groaned at what they saw as a conspicuous whitewashing of Tan's behavior. Tan proudly shared the piece on social media. He has nevertheless returned to his old antics. SF legacy media is dishonest and lies to you, he wrote in his 4,200 428,000 followers on April 1st. What's stunning, however, is the degree to which coverage of Tan has been quite even-handed and fair, if not positive. The press has unquestionably accepted the framing that he represents moderate or common sense politics, which he's rich, so how possible? Not one local story has mentioned his long affiliation with Balaji or the network state cult that is currently trying to create tech-controlled cities around the globe, and which maintains a fascination with an alt-right neo-fascist movement known as the Dark Enlightenment. What is that dark web shit now? In 2021, Cade Mentz of the Times wrote that Balaji had suggested targeting journalists who mention these connections. If things got hot, it may be interesting to sick the dark Enlightenment audience on a single vulnerable hostile reporter to dox them and turn them inside out with hostile reporting sent to their advertisers, friends, contacts, wrote Balaji in an email viewed by the Times. In a twisted way, these omissions almost lend credence to claims that mainstream press outlets don't tell us what's really going on. In the aftermath of Tan's death threat tweets, both the Chronicle and Standard hesitated for at least a day before publishing full stories. For a moment, it seemed unclear whether they would cover it at all. Yet despite the local media's generally fair approach and the puffy Times glow-up, Tan continues to rage against the press. Nothing less than absolute control and fealty seems acceptable to the network state types. Well, of course, because you're not a human being. Don't forget, you're not a human being to these fucks. And if you're not rich and like literally at their level, you're not a human to them. Not like you are a decree. You're not human. This Grays shit won't be fucking including you. That's why the Reds exists, by the way. The Reds exist for play along pores, right? And by the way, if you're fucking, you can already I'm just telling you right now, if you're fucking like a Nazi and you're like a white supremacist on this, you're probably not one of my viewers necessarily, but if you're coming through here trying to say like based, never forget, this dude didn't say Jews outright. He said a fucking white guy. So don't think that you're going to be included in this because it's going to be a white fucking ethno-state. It's going to be a fucking capitalist techno-state, whatever the fuck, and you're not invited. The Reds just means that you are going to help give control to him, after which point you'll be slightly above the Blues in the pecking order. You're going to be just another fucking stoolie. If you just want it to happen because you're a day of the rope psycho, okay, I can't fucking convince you otherwise. You're too cool for school, man. Hey, the Pumped Up Kick song, it was about you. You're the fucking coolest, man. How you fucking rebel against authority, but you're going to be a bitch in that world the same way you are here. And the next time it's probably going to be worse because there won't even be any more transgender women around for you to chase online. So you're going to have nothing. There won't be any. This guy's going to end femboys. Okay, femboys are only going to be for the Grays. They're not going to be for you. You get nothing. So keep that in mind before you get off your little fucking start cracking them out to your supposed day of the rope that's coming. It's not for you. In the aftermath of let's see. Do not hire PR, tweeted Balaji on April 4th, days after Tan's PR wrangled Times profile. They want to train you to talk to journos, but journos hate you, so this is an obsolete model. Instead, just hire influencers, build your channel, and go direct. Yes, do propaganda. If you want to go outside of the system, just do propaganda. That's true. That's a fucking standard Nazi move. Tan boosted the message to his feed. Oh my god. Okay, so that's it. That's fucking crazy and completely expected. I read a little bit of it. I knew that it got crazier. I didn't know quite how crazy it got. But that's it, man. That's what the future looks like. That's what the future looks like. Here's the thing. This is one of the big things. I talked about this a little bit earlier. I just don't find a lot of value, and I don't think it helps black people or non-white people really in a general sense to embetter their lives to constantly have this sort of like bizarrely over enthusiastic deference to like racial issues to the point where like I can't fucking talk about anything. I can't, you get fucking hemmed and hawed. And also to think that if you have like a polite, standoffish, like I'm one of the good ones, white boy relationship to talking about race stuff, that it's somehow like you're going to have the right takes and that your takes are going to be perfect. Because this dude's using this is racist language, right? Built into this. This is an ethnicity thing. He's trying to build his own ethnicity. This is the same shit, literally, as Aryan. Aryan's not real. If you guys, let me give you a breakdown. By the way, this is for you Europeans too, because you fucks, I swear to God, you never know You all think you're the smartest fucking kids in class, and then you never understand why all the fucking problems happen that make us have to come across a fucking ocean more than one time to bail you out of your problems. Aryan is a made-up race. It doesn't exist, which is why the Germans didn't all look like fucking Dolph Lundgren, okay? That was kind of an idealized thing, but even at the time, Germans look generally like me. A mix of versions of me. I swear, most of the Germans I've ever met look vaguely like me. Some of them are blonde, some of them aren't. You can't tell, I have green eyes. My hair is actually pretty light if I get out into the fucking sun. It's like a little bit more auburn. It's a pretty simple phenotype. Everyone that I grew up around is fucking German. You know what I'm saying? So this whole like idealized, a true Aryan, deep genetics, you know what I'm saying? Like Hitler has the same fucking coloring as I do, basically. I think he has blue eyes, but still, same thing. That's a whole bunch of hooey, bunch of bullshit that you have to make up in order to create an actual caste, right? You have to make up a new race, which is what this guy's doing. He's making up the race, the ethnicity of fucking grays, which are politically in agreement with him. And I guarantee you get 10 fucking inches deeper into the fucking well of horseshit that they're going into, and they will start coming up with genetic phenotypes that conform to their ideal of what a real human being is. And they will start explaining things as like, well, you do see like these sort of diseases popping up amongst the blues. It's because of this predilection towards this, that, and the other. Sexual habits, reproductive issues, all of these sort of things will come up. It's just a matter of time until they come out. If you let them keep talking, they will eventually explain it. The fact that he speed ran in just these conversations the entirety of fucking Goebbels' playbook is fire. And just, I always knew it was coming because that's what happens. Liberalism is fucking based, okay? I'm just going to tell you that right now. Liberalism is based compared to almost literally every other fucking political organization, so to say, philosophy that has ever existed and been input. Why? Because liberalism creates the most beneficial outcomes for the most people generally. Like, it kind of just always sits there. It does have issues, though. One of the biggest problems with raw fucking liberalism and people's belief in fucking laissez-faire politics or laissez-faire economics and stuff is that liberalism, by maximizing at times individual rights, creates situations where extreme outliers get to bypass the entire system and just buy it from itself, which is what's happening with people like this. That is why you need actual real leftist policies in play. That is why you need to have high taxes. Is it unfair to the rich? I don't know about fairness, but yeah, it definitely impacts them because you cannot allow people. It's not because of just the good it's going to do. It's because you cannot permit people to, by incidents of random natural occurrences, be able to destroy the system by participating in it. It's just a rule that needs to exist because then you can metagame the system into non-existence. You have to establish liberal societies. You have to. It's an aspect of moving from dog shit, so to say, systems of monarchism and I'm in charge because I can kill everybody, basically. The next step up from that is liberalism. That it's socialism. Right? Social, understanding that the society is the first aspect of the society's construction is the benefit of the society itself. That's the step up. Liberalism is an aspect of socialism. We don't have to have this whole giant conversation. Let me just tell you this. If you got your definition of socialism from Xander Hall, with all due respect to a 25-year-old Minecraft streamer who I don't know if he ever even attended college, maybe the fucking YouTube videos he listened to develop that didn't quite get to the bottom of it. But basically, if we go all the way back to the 1800s and the French Revolution and shit, communism, socialism was an idea. Marxism, which is what most of you guys articulate as socialism, developed from socialism and tried to articulate it through an economic means from which we develop communism. The Soviet version of that is Marxist-Leninism, which is the economic system, the socialism behind it, and then also a method through which to create communist societies through vanguardism and shit. On top of that, you have Marxist, Leninist, Maoist thought, which is Mao's version of it, which is, hey man, fucking seems pretty hard. If you just kill anybody that fucking disagrees with you, that's the best way to get to the end result. Also, make sure you kind of flower it up a little bit, because people get a little bit butthurt about pogroms and fucking forced starvation. They get weird about it. That's a fucking line out. That's communism. Communism, deep communism, Marxist-Leninism, Maoism, bad. Tyler, you need to read more about it. I've read enough and I've seen the results. If you had to kill that many people and then it didn't last, I don't particularly care to read the book of the failure that fucking put it together. You know what I'm saying? Like, who gives a shit? That's that, right? Socialism, however, is further back. It's social. Socialism also creates liberalism. It also creates fascism. Liberalism is maximizing all the freedoms, individual freedoms that you can for a society in order to benefit the society. From there, you have a lot of other spalling points after it settles. You have to have liberalism to ever have communism. You just have to, because you can't go from any other state. It's been shown. You just literally can't go from any other state to communism and have it actually work for more than like 5 fucking seconds. You need to establish a bunch of shit. Otherwise, you have to like starve a bunch of people as the fucking farmers are forced to become fucking workers in industrial factories. And it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Just trust me. You have to at least do it as a stopping point on the way. The issues with liberalism is that it naturally creates an opportunity for anybody to do any of the other systems. So you have to establish liberalism in a post-monarchical, post-feudal society, i.e., we're all safe from the bears now. It's time to fucking do literature and art and maybe like not work every day until we die. Liberalism. It just gives you the ability to go in every other fucking direction. If you don't put constraints on it, and if you don't create a constant leftward push with liberalism, it will naturally create a situation that selects for whoever gets the most resources and freedoms at once to do whatever the fuck they want. Because pure liberalism gives you, one of your rights is the ability to buy elections, or to buy the ability to make somebody pass the law, to pass the law, to pass the law, to pass the law, to buy elections and bypass that entire thing, at which point you fucking cease doing liberalism and you skip to neo-feudalism, which is basically just fascism ultimately, because post-industrial feudalism is almost always a version of fascism, which is fear and stuff. I read a bunch of this shit. I will have this conversation with somebody if they want to. I would like to find out the ways that I'm wrong to make this statement stronger, because I think it has staying power. But either way, that's the problem. We need you have to address these things. This is the kind of argument you need to give to your idiot fucking in-laws, all right? Don't argue from a moral standpoint, because they won't give a shit, because their morals might be different than yours. And then you also have to establish the value of morals at all. Just show them these results. If we do not put a cap on income, it creates a situation where a guy who fucking hates you can buy your rights from you without you ever being part of the contract. He can just buy them sideways because of the way that the government's set up. The government can't ever be changed because it's the only way to provide any good results. The only thing that needs to be changed, eliminate their ability to make that much money. Because if you cap them at $50 million, $250 million even, you know what I mean? Cap these incomes. I think probably 15 million is more than any normal human being would ever need. If you cap their incomes, you eliminate people's ability to do weird shit, like try to fucking buy out governments and destroy them. Articulate the idea through the harm, which is there. Uncontrolled laissez-faire liberalism, uncontrolled laissez-faire economics create situations where some people who are massive outliers, 0.000 repeating to a 1 that's very, very many decimal places back, that absolute fucking outlier can destroy the entire thing. All we need is one law. You eliminate the existence of the outlier. and then everyone can have all the other conversations that we've been talking about. We can do all this other stuff. You can start getting back into your moral arguments and shit. But if you allow that one person to exist, they can buy your rights. And once your rights are gone, you have to say that you just trusted him, and then you have to believe that maybe he's going to give them back, which more than likely isn't going to be the case. And just understand that also if you're a racist, you know what I mean, you're a white American, Midwestern racist, and you think that this is going to benefit white people for some fucking reason because you're like, dude, is this not the Civil War that Tim Pool's been talking about? No, it is going to be a slow purchase and a slow disenfranchisement of your existence through these mild things. And then one day you're just going to wake up with a gun in your neck, and it's not going to have anything to do with your race, and no one's going to give a fuck because they're going to create a new race for you, which is what happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? Jews are not always Jews across the world. You know, it's like whatever you think of in your mind, if you have like a racist idea of a Jewish person, they probably don't look like that everywhere. You know what I mean? Like the Jewish person from Nazi propaganda does not look like Jewish people in Israel. Jewish people in Israel don't look like Jewish people in New York. They don't look like Jewish people in Uganda. They don't look like Jewish people in fucking South Korea. People look different all over the place. So you have to make your Jewish person. You have to make one, which is what this guy's doing. He's literally making blues. You know what I'm saying? Of which you will more than likely find the vast majority of Jewish people are going to fit into, as well as a lot of unsavory races that whatever Balaji doesn't like is going to be in there as well. I don't know how to tell because I'm not in ethnicity. I don't know how to tell different like caste of Indians apart. I don't know if that's a thing. Even still, don't really care because it's a disgusting aspect of your culture that I have no respect for. But if it still exists, do you think you're one of the ones that he's not? Do you think he doesn't know that? I guarantee you he's internalized it. Rich fucks are always evil. That's how they get fucking rich. That's gonna happen. The Latinos, I guarantee you, they're gonna start fucking. They're gonna start fucking. Oh well, you know, native Latinos. They're not really like the fucking big earners in Mexico City. You know, those fucking white Latinos. They got something. I like those Bolsonaros. I don't know why these other people look. They look like Native Americans. I don't know why that's the case. You know, they're not really like Latino. They're like, there's something else. You know, we'll figure that out. But we got to make sure that, you know, while we're figuring it out, we got somewhere safe for them to stay away from. You know, where they're not going to cause any harm up the fucking channel. And you know, if you can't fucking free yourself up to have the conversations like this, where you're like, oh shit, it is a little bit higher up. And you get fucking You get nervous about it, that's how you fucking sneak in. That dude just fucking literally got to sneak call that dude a fucking Jew by calling him a white male nepotist. You think I didn't fucking notice? The people that look like me invented that shit. You're fucking stealing it. No one gets to do evil around here and get away with it. That's what I don't like. Fucking ugh. Germany was probably a fucking cool place at one point. Now it's permanently fucking ruined. You can't go on a vacation to Germany. Everyone's going to think you're fucking weird. Why? Because they let one fucking psycho do psycho shit and kill fucking 6 million people. You can't let it happen. You fucking ruin it. Everyone's going to be talking about it. Right now, San Francisco's cool. And if you let this dipshit get in charge of it, everyone's going to talk about how fucking people like, no, I'm telling you. In 2010, California was great. It was not like the post-Balaji fucking empire shit. They were not doing, like, in 2015, everyone, if you would have told people that this guy who was a tech CEO was going to be hanging fucking Jewish people from like light posts and having shooting galleries of random transgender people in fucking like alleys and tennis courts and shit, we would have told you it's crazy. And then they're going to look at it and be like, he literally said he was going to do this. Like, what do you mean you were all surprised he set up ghettos? He said he was going to set up ghettos and make movies about how setting up ghettos and separating the population was really cool. Like, you guys didn't know? And you're going to say, no, I didn't. And then everyone's going to talk about California used to be like the economic hub of America. It was crazy. You know, I never thought that they would this, that, and the other, but there you go. Shout out Oregon being the fucking Austria. Fucking Austria of the American Northwest going, well, you know, we can't believe they popped off like that, but we tried to stop them. Motherfucker, Jesus Christ. It just drives me crazy. I just don't like people doing fascism and racism to the point where it makes me talk fucking out of character, out of turn. I don't care. But I feel like I feel like you get to cross some lines when someone else is crossing, like they're way ahead of you. You may have to cross the lines to catch up with them, and then rub their fucking face in their own feces and shit. I fucking hate this. I get very upset about it. And it shouldn't be permitted. It shouldn't be fucking permitted.
Hope you enjoyed your time on the West Side.